What is up, guys? Welcome back to Motorfest, and today we have sort of a weird topic, man. I don't really know how to talk about this. I've got some points written down, but I mean, I'm probably going to speak a little bit from the dome on this one. I'm feeling like Motorfest is in sort of a weird position, and it has everything to do with the Summit contest and sort of this regular weekly content that just feels a little bit lackluster. And then today we get this post from the Discord and on their socials talking about the Aerial Circus, which is the upcoming summit, and it just made me think, like, this is really bad for Motorfest. Like, the timing of this couldn't be worse. Anyways, I'll explain it as we get into the video. Let's go. So the first thing is, since launch, Motorfest has had some really lackluster summit rewards, and it seems like they have like this little formula here, and I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but it seems like we're getting vanities basically every summit, with the exception of like the last summit of that month. We get a vehicle most of the time. It might even be every time, I'm not sure, but most of the time the vehicle is a special edition of a vehicle that's either in the game or, you know, an additional new vehicle. Basically something new, something that we can look forward to at the very end of the month. Now, for this particular month, we have the Laurel tire, which is a brand new tire this month in season 6, which is kind of nice to see something new. But you know, it's an okay tire. It's a rare tire. It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nice to grab it, but it's not something that's going to you know, pique everyone's interest. If you're not playing Motorfest right now, you're not going to come back for this tire. Then you have the Drift Harmony Summit, which was week 2 this month, and we got the Rainbow Trail Smoke as the platinum reward. It's whatever, but that's an old Crew 2 vanity. And then the 2 versus 4 summit gave us the Glow Motorsport Underglow. Again, that's a Crew 2 vanity. That's an old vanity. And then finally, we've got the Koenigsegg Selection. And this one, we've got the Red Fury Nitro. So that's also a new Nitro as of season 6. So we've got basically 2 brand new vanities and 2 old vanities for this month. And then finally, the very last week of the month, we've got the new vehicle, and this month's new vehicle is an Extra 330s SC Red Bull Edition Special Edition plane. Now, the reason I'm disappointed with this is because planes are generally not used that often in Motorfest. You have, you know, your feats, you have your occasional summit events, you have these little moments of time where you would use a plane, and the majority of the time, like 90% plus of the time when you're playing Motorfest, you're not really using planes, so it's not really a good reward. Like, it's fine. I appreciate getting new vehicles, but when am I going to use this plane? Like, that's the real question. Like, when am I going to use this outside of this summit? You notice this summit, we're going to be using it in the first event. That's the lone vehicle. And then basically other vehicles that we already have, like the helicopters and the GBR-1 and, you know, this Waco aircraft. These are planes that are already in the game. Like, this summit is the example of when I would be using planes outside of, you know, completing feats, or in other summits with the feats at the bottom here. You might have the occasional like bullseye or something like that where you would use a plane. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that no one really uses planes that often. So for it to be a premium summit reward, it just feels like it's just not good enough. And we've had not good enough rewards since the launch of the game. It's been mostly recycled content from the Crew 2 with very limited, far and few between new rewards. And I just think that the timing of this just really couldn't be worse. Like, Forza Horizon 5 came out on PlayStation last week, and the majority of players that are on PlayStation are very interested to see what that experience is like. So for us to have a very lackluster summit reward type of month, and honestly season, it couldn't be worse timing for this game. But that brings me to a point that I want to make about Motorfest in general, and that is that I'm not really that happy with the way they've designed or the way they have the strategy for this game going forward. Their idea seems to be that they want to capture as many new players as possible at all times. They're not really concerned with the players that are walking out the back door, the people that are leaving for other things. They might be bored, they might be interested in Forza Horizon, they might be, you know, whatever the case is. They're falling out of love with the game, and it's becoming sort of this monotonous, boring thing to do, and that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, now obviously I'm just assuming, but it feels like they're okay with losing players to Forza Horizon 5 because they have new players coming into the game. They have all these things designed to try to attract new players, whether it be new cars every month or new summits every week or lots of playlists to play and lots of content to play through, or the fact that they're, like I said, one of the only like major arcade games that are still getting regular updates. Need for Speed is going to be on hiatus for 2 to 3 years, and Forza Horizon 5 is not getting any new updates, so it's not like there's something new there for the players that are already engaged in that game. I feel like Motorfest, especially being on all the platforms, including last gen, Motorfest has the ability, the opportunity, I should say, to really take the arcade racing scene by storm, and they're just putting out sort of blah content. Like, it just doesn't feel like they're actually putting in a lot of effort here. And to be honest with you, this is not good for me either. Like, I'm not here complaining just so that I can complain. This is not good for me. My whole channel is based upon Need for Speed and Motorfest, and we're not getting anything Need for Speed for the next couple of years, so it's basically Motorfest or bust right now, and there's just not a lot to talk about. We're getting a jet this week, and we're getting, you know, a new main stage in a couple of weeks, and I mean, it's just like none of it feels exciting for anyone who's been playing the game. That being said, from a different perspective, if you look at it from a new player's perspective, there just seems like there's endless content in the game. You have like 20 something playlists to go through. You have summits every single week. You got parts to grind for. And as older players, as players that have done this already, we have nothing. The grand races feel stale, even though they're making changes to the way the modifiers work on Saturdays. They're trying to add new modifiers. They're trying to sort of mix up the grand races a little bit, but it just feels like just this very, I don't know, sort of like a minimal, low effort type of addition to the game or changes to the PvP. Like, I have zero enthusiasm to jump in and play grand races all the time. I just have nothing motivating me to actually play the game. So I'm very disappointed in this. I really think that it would be smart for them to figure out a way to not only bring new players into the game, but then also retain the players that want to continue playing the game. Now, obviously, I don't work for IVT. I don't work for Ubisoft. I don't know what their plans are. I'm just speaking from what my experience is in the game, and coming from someone that has a lot of hours in this game, I don't feel like they are trying to retain me as a player. I think they're trying to gain new players, but that strategy feels like they think it's black and white, it's one or the other, and I don't think that's the case. I think you can still have a strategy of trying to gain new players and then also implement things that keep the older players or keep the experienced players hooked. Whatever the case is, whatever's happening behind closed doors, it doesn't matter. What it feels like is that they're not trying hard enough to retain players. What I'd like to see is changes to the things that the regular consistent players are doing on a weekly basis. Summits, grand races. Do something with those. Get better rewards, better cars, part set. There's so many things they could do with those two events. Just simply having better rewards would be amazing in the summits. Having a greater variety of grand race routes across both islands, or, you know, throwing in like sort of a monster grand race that features insanely long courses across both islands. That would be really dope to see. I would love to see those types of things made. I would really love to see a ranked mode, and I would really love to see private lobbies for grand racing, because then as players, we can organize our own events and we can make things to do in the game with just our friends, or, you know, the groups of people that want to be competitive. Something that just retains those older sort of experienced players. That's what I want to see going forward. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but I mean, you're not going to get players like me excited over a jet. Is it going to be fun to drive for like an hour? Sure. It's going to be fun to use in a summit event? Sure. Like, after that, then what are we doing, man? We're just looking forward to the next special edition of some other car that's like, it's already in the game and now it's green instead of white. I don't know. It just feels like the game is just really stale right now, and it's literally the worst timing, because Forza Horizon 5 has a very big experience to offer PlayStation players, and they're going to have fun with it for at least a month or two. And in those months, are they going to fall out of love with Motorfest? That's really the question. I tend to believe people will be back on Motorfest eventually, because I think the consistent content updates will keep people coming back, but it just feels like it's going to suffer for a few months. And it's just not good. It's not good for the player base. It's not good for the grand races. It's not good for the people that really just are sort of falling out of love with the game. So, like I said, I know I'm complaining in this video, and I know that it feels like it's just frustration building, but I'm really at a point with this game where I don't feel the pull. It's not pulling me into the game like it was early on, and actually throughout this whole first year and a half. It really pulls on me every week to go in and play, and I want to do that. And now it just kind of feels like it's just, I don't know, just doesn't feel, I don't have that anymore. I don't feel that anymore. And I want to get that back. So please, IVT, Ubisoft, you guys are listening. I really would appreciate some love being thrown at the summits and the grand races, and, you know, potentially ranked mode or private matches, or something that we can get excited about as a community of people who are experienced in the game, and keep doing what you're doing to bring new players into the game. I don't want this to be like a, you know, negative towards new players. New players are great. Bring more new people into the game. Get as many people into the game as possible. That's what we want, but we don't want people leaving. That's the problem. And I think a lot of people are leaving right now because of these terrible rewards and because Forza is out on PlayStation. So Ubisoft, IVT, please do something. Let's make it better. I want the game to do better. All right, that's it. Rant over. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.